We'll go ahead and begin. The CEASD board, as well as our executive director, Barbara Raimondo, have been working tirelessly throughout this year. And this is just a moment for us to reflect. In the heat of the moment, often things just pass by and we can't actually acknowledge and recognize those things. So this is a good opportunity to thank the entire CEASD board. There were a few of us that were unable to make it today because they had a conflict, but for the last 3 years and going on 4 years, by next year when we get together for our next conference, I just want to thank each and every one of you. Would any of you like to speak to our members before we begin? Any of you? Scott, Luann, Claire, Stacy?
I would just like to say, for those of you who have finished out the school year, I applaud you for surviving this pandemic. And for those of you who are not yet there, hang in there, just like myself. Just a couple weeks more and then we'll be done. But I could not be more proud of CEASD as an organization. We came together, we supported each other, and we've done it all together this year. So thank you, everyone.
This is Stacy. I second that.
And this is Claire. So really, we have done an amazing job with CEASD.
Oh, I agree.
You know, for accreditation, we trained more than 130 people. And that was in our 2-part accreditation training sessions that were offered online. Wow. And speaking of our online seminars, the topics were absolutely amazing and people loved all of them. I heard nothing but all good things and wonderful feedback. So my hat off to all of you, and hopefully everybody was able to benefit from those online sessions. Great job.
Thank you, Scott, Stacy, Luann. Anything you'd like to add?
This is Luann. I'd like to talk about the online training. I know this is called the new normal because it really has been beneficial for everyone, not those who participate normally in the CEASD conferences. Sometimes that's a limited number of folks, but now we were able to bring in other school members, such as social workers, counselors, teachers, had access to all of this. And so we are very much looking forward to expanding our efforts and working with all those folks. So thank you, school leaders, for encouraging your staff to participate in these online sessions. And hopefully everybody will continue to stay involved with CEASD.
This is David. I agree. Stacy? Our board has really worked so hard to collaborate, not only with people, but those experts from each of the individual schools. It has been your expertise that has really driven these online sessions. So it's just been so nice for all of us to have this collaboration and to just work smarter. And truly, to work smarter and to just do more with the strengths that each of us brings and to spread those out through all over the United States through our schools. It's that collective and cooperative work. Those are really powerful terms this year. Hi, Jennifer. And Scott, did you want to add anything else?
This is Scott. I fully agree with everything everybody has shared. I think the online workshops, all of the offerings were so beneficial for so many schools. And I want to say a special thank you to the board members here and the executive board members and the executive director. I want to let you all know you've done a wonderful job to be able to design and implement these workshops. I remember the very first time I joined in, I thought, how is this going to work? But it has been so successful. And there are so many feedback that we're getting that's so positive from so many people. And when I talk with other schools, other deaf school superintendents and other employees from other deaf schools, they tell me what they think about these workshops and these sessions, and they've all said wonderful things. So I hope we can continue this even next year and for other years to come. So thank you all, to our president and to our board members, for all of the support you've provided us, and to all the deaf schools also for participating and engaging in these workshops and trainings. Thank you so much.
I agree. Thank you all. And now, Jennifer, if you'd like to share a few more words.
Hi, my name's Jennifer, and I'm arriving a little bit late, so I apologize if I'm repeating anything that's already been said, but I would like to go ahead and share my thoughts. I know this year has been tough, and we are trying to work with up and coming leaders, and we really wanted to have a CEASD conference that I'd like to attend, and I think this year was my opportunity. And I think that our presenters themselves for the CEASD online workshops were able to grow also. And so we're reaching out to these presenters to have them come present at our school. So we saw so many wonderful topics during these online sessions, and we've invited several presenters from this year's conference to come and present at our own school. So the impact has been tremendous on our own community, and I'm sure their impact is also widespread in other deaf schools as well, and that in the years to come, they'll be presenting for others. And it's not just beneficial for us, but for them also. It's very much a mutual collaboration. And I think that we've really been able to uplift each other professionally and personally also. So congratulations on a wonderful year, CESD. We very much enjoyed meeting some people, and unfortunately weren't able to do it face to face, but at least we were able to connect names with faces and learn about people's various expertise. So hopefully next year we can come together in person and continue these relationships and this growth.
I agree, absolutely. Michelle? Well, I would agree with what everyone has said thus far. It has been so impressive what Jeff and you, David, have done with these online conferences. And I've seen the growth that we've all had this year, and the number of participants has grown, which has just been fantastic to see as well, to have this in place of our conference. So I'm looking forward to our face to face meetings next year. And I'm excited for us all to be together. Yes, thank you so much to all of the board members. I do have a PowerPoint today. It is only 16 slides. It is going to be brief. I'm just going to look at our year in review. So at this time, if everyone could shut off their videos, I would appreciate it. If you're having difficulty seeing the presenters, you can use the slide bar to minimize or make the PowerPoint smaller. This is a summary of all of the things that we have done this year. And in the end, those who benefit are our students. They're the true winners throughout all of this, and they are thriving because of our efforts. Of course, we have faced some challenges, but we have persevered in light of those challenges and still moved forward. As you recall, last summer, we started reaching out and gathering information on your school reopening plans. Public schools oftentimes have the benefit of collaborating, and as deaf schools, we are typically the only school in our state, and we are alone navigating these waters, but we were able to work together across the United States and share our reopening plans and work together. When March 2020 hit and schools were closed all over the nation, the schools for the deaf, we all knew in that moment how strong the deaf community is and how strong we are as people of the eyes. And when we considered the challenges that may face us moving forward, we knew that we would be able to access education using those online platforms. And we were able to dive right in, whereas those public schools really struggled with that. So there were so many success stories to be told throughout all of that. We were able to share those stories, and it really validated why we're here And that all speaks to each and every one of you. So thank you to those of you who dove right in and started working virtually. I can't say enough about it. The next slide, but before I move on to that, I want to talk about all the different topics that we covered. As Jennifer said, there were presenters from other schools, Stacy mentioned as well, that we were able to bring in experts from each of the schools to share their expertise. And then each of our individual schools benefited from that in terms of outreach. We were able to find other presenters to come in and present at our schools individually. When the Black Lives Matter movement really struck and hit a crisis point, everyone dove right in, and we were able to provide support through our trainings and workshops, and everyone was here and able to take advantage of that. And that is a silver lining that we have seen throughout this pandemic. Once our workshops were over, we want to continue this online platform because we recognize the value and the benefit to that. And I will speak more to that as we continue moving forward. This slide shows the whole host of topics that we were able to cover. I have to commend Jeff for coordinating all of this, and for those of you members who were able to give some beautiful nuggets of ideas that really led this conference and these online trainings. Of course, we couldn't do any of this without our sponsors. So thank you to Gallaudet, RIT, AIDB, Gallaudet, all these other sponsors. We do have our annual conference and we do fundraising for that. That is how CEASD operates. We do presentations, we provide advocacy and support to Senate, but that fundraising is crucial. And when our conference was canceled and we moved to an online platform, we were still able to get those sponsorships and still able to support our executive director position, even despite the pandemic. And we came out even stronger as an organization. So thank you to all of these sponsors. I want to continue to recognize sponsors, WPSD, Western Pennsylvania School for the Deaf, and a variety of other organizations, OSPD, which is one of our private schools, the Learning Center, American School for the Deaf. All of these sponsorships really contributed to our sustainability as an organization. As Claire mentioned at the beginning, this year we were able to have 130 participants in our training, which is unprecedented up until this point. We had more participants learning about accreditation, and we will continue to do online trainings moving forward for our accreditation process, which is fantastic. For the first time, it was done, a virtual accreditation was done, and I am very proud of CEASD because I feel that we've really been fearless in these challenging times, and we have not wavered in light of these circumstances, but we have moved forward with gusto. And so I thank you to the team members who moved forward and were willing to give their best efforts toward that end. And I do believe that we will see that moving forward as needed. Really, the accreditation work that is done is quite comprehensive, and it is a living document that changes over time, and it's thrilling to see. CEASD still supported the Education and Advocacy Summit, so it allowed our students to understand how the government systems work, as well as to allow our professionals to learn how to advocate and communicate at the federal level. And again, all of this work is for our students. The Alex Cogswell Act is still moving forward, so it's just been a fabulous journey. Not only that, but we have been working towards this data collection summit because data really tells the story of our individual children, and language deprivation has to be recognized. And data is what backs those stories. It used to be that we didn't have a strong foundation in data, but the options schools programs, we've worked with them and we've talked about how they share data. We gathered information from that and we were able to bring it to CEASD and talk more in depth about how we can use that and use university level research and share those resources and the data, and then bring more schools on board so that we can use that data to tell our stories about our students and the language deprivation that is present. So we are continuing to work towards that data collection summit. As for accreditation and the strategic plan, we have set that forth and we have met all of our areas of focus, and we will keep moving forward and develop our new strategic plan for the fall. And we'll talk about that here in a bit. This really recaps everything that has happened over the course of this last year. And it really emphasizes that with the support of CEASD, our students can continue to strive. Now, what will CEASD continue to do for you in the future? This next slide really is important. I want to emphasize it for each of you. We all need to take a vacation. We need to take some time to find some peace. We need that from time to time amidst all of our hard work. During your vacation time, you may see a survey that comes out, and it will just be asking for your feedback as to the challenges you have faced and what organizationally challenges you have faced. We would like you to respond to that and submit those, and then we will use that to share it with a person who has expertise in strategic planning. We may reach out for further discussion on those areas, and then we will choose the top 5 or 6 issues that will drive our strategic plan moving forward. So most importantly, though, take care of yourself this summer. If you recall, when we started this online process, there was a set price for membership, and we understood that there were some challenges in that. The CEASD board really wants to see all of our schools participate in this online platform monthly. We don't want to just have our annual conference in April. This is another silver lining that we have found in the midst of the pandemic. We have recognized the need for continual meetings and trainings. So once you are a member of CEASD, you will have access to not only the conference, but also the online trainings. So this will be an opportunity for your schools to participate and all staff to participate. And that will build our human capacity amongst our staff, and it will benefit our students in the long run. So as you can see, we have different price lines for organizational members. If you're a smaller school, there is a different cost, as you can see listed there. And then the larger schools have a different cost. It used to be that the costs were the same. Now, if you consider how it runs for a larger school, in the public school, we want to have a similar matrix for that. So we have changed the matrix for payments. We have not had an increase in membership dues for the last 10 years. So this allows for us to improve our services. As you can see, we have really been giving it our all this last year. So membership is beneficial to everyone. As we know, there's been a lot of issues with the Black Lives Matter movement and the need for us to really unpack our own issues and look at our internal biases. We have been consulting with Dr. Lorraine Sims, and she's been working closely with us as an organization so that we can unpack these issues that we have and work towards supporting diversity and then passing that on to our members as well, so that all of our schools in the country can improve and make sure that we can run our schools in the way that they should be run and be proud of our country. We have great news. The Leadership Academy will be running again. So new superintendents, leadership will be able to attend this academy. That's exciting. If you recall, the survey that is sent out does give us information about the needs of our school and our organization, and we use that to drive our strategic plan. We also work on that over the course of the week. And then in October and November, we will continue to disseminate that information. Heidi, I'm sorry, I froze.
He was frozen.
David. So if language deprivation becomes an area of focus, we may have online conference meetings the first Thursday of the month. There'll be focus groups that we use to pull people in and to discuss areas that we can focus on moving forward. The strategic plan does have potential for a variety of areas to be covered. The things that you see listed on the PowerPoint are possible areas that we will be focusing on, but we do want to wait on the feedback that we receive from the surveys. And then once we've assessed that information, we will let you know what the new strategic plan areas are. Additionally, I have some other good news, but let me let you take a gander at the PowerPoint first. In February next year, we will have our Educational Advocacy Summit. And so we will be able to host that in person. And the exciting part of that is that Hands-On Travel will be doing the tour of DC for our students. So the students will get their training in government processes, etc. And then once they are done with that, they will get to travel through DC and see a variety of sites with Hands-On Travel independently. And then the administrators will also be doing additional training during that time. So on the 25th and 26th, we will have the opportunity to join that sightseeing as well. So of course, we are never at rest. We are always working diligently towards our students' successes. We will be having our annual conference in Salt Lake City. It will be thrilling to see that beautiful atmosphere, the mountains, to be in person once again and to meet one another and network. We will also elect our new members. Our treasurer, our president-elect will be chosen at that time, and Jeff will be inaugurated as our president of CEASD at that time. So it will be here before we know it. Again, now I have outlined all of the things that we've been doing over this past year with your support and all of us working in conjunction towards moving forward for deaf education. That is what CEASD is all about. I promised that this would be short and sweet, and it was. At this time, if you would like to come on screen, please feel free to share your comments. It can be anything about CEASD, any questions that you might have.
Hello, how are you?
Great.
So just this morning, I emailed Barbara about CEASD to give her kudos and congratulate her and all of you also, because this past year has been absolutely an amazing year for me to see the support and the resources that you've offered, the networking and collaboration. There are just no words, honestly. Thank you for this year. And you all made it happen. Thank you.
You are absolutely welcome. And I think that the students say thank you to all of us as well. Any other comments that you would like to make from the other members?
Hi, everyone. I'd like to just repeat the Leadership Academy. I strongly recommend that for anyone.
I would agree. Thank you. I think at this point we may close. Thank you so much to each and every one of you for all of your schools being involved in these online sessions, as well as sharing your resources with each of us. We couldn't have done it without you. So I really thank you from each and every child from the bottom of all of their hearts. Stay safe, enjoy your break, and find some peace.
And thank you, David.
Everyone can come on screen now and say goodbye.